Hi guys. So in this particular video, we're going to be talking about PCPNDT, a topic that is important for the exams. For the theory paper, you get a question on this. Apart from that, something which you need to know about in your practice. At some point, you're going to have your own center or you're going to work in an ultrasound setup, and to know the correct practice guidelines for doing an ultrasound or for doing any modalities, the record keeping involved, what are the processes of registration, renewal are so very important, that this becomes a very important talk to fall back upon, not just right now for the purpose of exams, but later on as well, when you start considering private practice or any independent practice for that matter outside of your residency. So let's talk about PCPNDT. It started off in 1994 as just PNDT, which was Prenatal Diagnostic Techniques, Regulation and Prevention of Misuse Act. It was then amended in 2002 to be called as PCPNDT, wherein they also included then preconception, right? So that is the major amendment of 2002. So there are two main years you want to remember here, 1994 and 2002. So the Prenatal Diagnostic Techniques Act, which was implemented in 1994, was for the regulation and the use of prenatal diagnostic techniques. It was commenced from 1996. It was mainly in order to decrease the chances of female sex detection and hence feticide. That was the main purpose when the act was launched. Now, with respect to 2003 amendment, this is now called as PCPNDT, which is Preconception Prenatal Diagnostic Techniques. And the main aim still remains the prohibition of sex selection, bringing ultrasound in the ambit. And that is where we come into its ambit as radiologists. The onus of the act and whoever is going to be accountable is always who owns the center. That is what is very, very important. So you as doctors or as center owners are responsible. You cannot say that I was not maintaining records. It was my secretary or it was my assistant. Doesn't count. It's you who are responsible for the record keeping and all of the other formalities that we are going to be discussing here. So what are the objectives? The main primary objective was to prohibit the misuse of prenatal diagnostic techniques. We will see what all this term prenatal diagnostic techniques or PCPNDT includes, but the primary aim is we don't use these techniques or these modalities for sex determination, prohibition of advertisement by radiologists for their centers, regulating the sale of ultrasound machines to only registered bodies, empowering the appropriate authorities to search, seize, and seal the machines of the violators. Now, this is something which requires a little bit of explanation. We will talk about the main authority being AA, right? So they have the power to search and report if there is any malpractice, but actually this is a criminal penal code, right? So this is actually an IPC. So this, if you are found to be doing anything which is prohibited by the act, it's a criminal offense. So it's not just the authority which we are going to talk about, that is A, it is going to be a criminal offense, and the sealing of the machine is going to be sealing of the machine as well as the center is going to be by the government, right? So remember, both the parties are involved. AA is what you will be hearing a lot as we go along, and then the government comes in once a violation has been confirmed. So punishment for the violation, provisions of the act, all of this comes under legal proceedings then. So then it's going to be the law and the court and the government which is going to decide what happens to the culprits, okay? So this does not just apply to ultrasound centers, it applies to every place, all government, all private hospitals, all nursing homes, any place where you are doing PCPNDT, any of those diagnostic techniques. So genetic counseling centers, genetic labs, ultrasound clinics, imaging centers, NGOs, vehicles which may carry the ultrasound machines, all of this comes under the Act. So now what are the definitions that we've been using? So when I say prenatal diagnostic procedures or diagnostic tests, what does it include? So any gynae, OBS or medical procedure like ultrasound, fetoscopy, taking samples of amniotic fluid, chorionic villi, blood, or any other tissue sent to a genetic lab or clinic for conducting any type of analysis or diagnostic test for sex selection before or after conception. So this is a very broad theoretical definition. In short, you want to remember that any sample which can possibly detect sex is included. So this ranges from an IVF embryo testing that is done. So that's why the term preconception, to ultrasound, to taking invasive samples from the amniotic fluid, chorionic villi, or doing a non-invasive prenatal testing from the blood or any other fluid which can possibly give you the karyotype or detect the sex of the baby, are all coming under the ambit. So all modalities, it is not just ultrasound. Remember, ultrasound, CT, MRI, all three of the modalities come under the purview of prenatal diagnostic procedures. So that is what the test is. So basically any test that you are doing, which may not be just detecting the sex, which may be to detect any genetic or metabolic disorder, any aneuploidies, any congenital anomalies. So essentially, that is what the aim of these tests is. It's not to detect the sex, but to detect the sex-linked disorders, right? And you get karyotype as a byproduct. But then those tests also come into the picture, right? So that's what is the broad overview. The people who get involved here, so definitely radiologists, sonologists, or imaging specialists, gynae ops, pediatrician, any RMP with 6-month training or 1-year experience in ultrasound. So that's important. An MBBS doctor also who's had 1-year training. So you guys as residents, after completing 1 year of residency, you are also included under the act. Medical geneticist. So all of the people who can be linked to whatever we've studied about are included. Going on to the infrastructure.